Okay, today we're going to work on another gouache painting. Today I've got the titanium white, yellow ochre, Prussian blue, and black. I'm going to limit our palette a little bit today to start. As you all know, I sometimes go off the deep end here. I'm also going to play around with more stencils today. So I've drawn out a little bit of a landscape with some hills back here and then something over here. Not quite sure how it's going to turn out, but we're going to see. Let's get started. Okay, I'm going to spritz down a little bit with some water. Get our paper ready to receive paint. And get out our dagger brush. Start off with a little Prussian blue here. I just wanted to see if I could make something that, just make something on a limited palette. Although I'm already thinking I might add some more blue, but let's see. Let's see what we get. I want these to be a little bit darker up here. And then through here, I just kind of, I'm going to bring this down into this area a little bit. Let's come in with our lovely knife tool and lightly put in some marks through here, because we'll probably be adding more color up through there. Definitely. It's a little too light, but I'm liking this idea of starting light and then getting darker as we go, almost like a watercolor in these light washes through here. I want to see if we can do this with just these three, this limited palette, and see what happens. Almost like a 2-color palette. I think I want mine a little darker on this side, maybe. Not sure what I'm going to do there. Okay, I'm going to mix up a little bit of this ochre color in with the Prussian blue. And that's really green. But I think I'm going to add just a touch of black. Kind of tone it down a little bit. We're still a little wet. Let's wet down just a little. Oh, I just put blue on there. Awesome. Oh, I could probably mix it out. I kind of want this to, I'm going to be a little, just kind of want to bring this through here. And this was a photo that I found on Unsplash, which is kind of a fun place to get photo inspirations. Let's add a bit more of that blue, maybe with a little white this time. Ooh, that's a pretty color. Let's put some of that up here also. That was not where I wanted it, but I think I'm going to do some through here. This to be like kind of another beachy scene. You guys have been itching to go to the beach. I need to go to the beach. In case you can't tell, I'm itching to go to the beach. Dreaming of it, thinking about it. Let me know in the comments if you dream about going to the beach. Or if I'm the only one. It's probably because I live in the middle of the country and there are no beaches that I crave the beach. Let's let this dry. Okay, mixing up a little bit of Prussian blue, white, and black. And I'm going to come in here and make these sort of hilly areas just a little darker. Ooh, that's a pretty color. I want a little bit of that to show through, so I'm not going to try to get rid of all of it. I'll put some texture in there as well. Let's come in with our stencil. Let's think about this. Now, the last time I used this, I covered it all up. So I'm going to try not to do that today because I really liked the effect of the stencil. So I got this sort of green color here, and I just kind of want to bring it through this way a little bit. I'm just gonna I kind of like what's going on in this part of the stencil. We're just gonna lightly brush it over and see what we get real quick. And then we'll probably put some more layers on. I got this stencil from Temu a while ago, so I'm not sure that you can still get it at a reasonable price. Things have kind of gotten expensive over there. Okay, so, ooh, that's fun. That's real fun. I think we should add another layer, maybe of a more yellow color. Okay, let's do another whitewash. I mixed up a little bit of a green gold color here. We'll do another light wash of this stencil through here. In the last video, I tried a stencil brush. It didn't work very well. I didn't think. I thought it was a little too hard to use with the gouache because I'm not really using it. I'm using it more as a watercolor. So it didn't really work. It didn't really hold enough paint to really get the job done. So we're just using a flat brush. Okay, I like where this is going. What if we did another... I like this one. Let's just do part of it. We'll just do part of it. Just the top part, maybe. Let's do it again. Oh, that one probably didn't work very well. It didn't work very well. But I do like what we got going on here. Okay, I'm going to use like this little part of the stencil, of this sort of wavy stencil. That might be, I think that might be too watery. Not quite what I wanted. Kind of messed up there a little bit. We can futz it a little bit. When in doubt, palette knife. Because as in life, actually, you know, they shouldn't be perfectly. Maybe this was a sign they were too perfect. I kind of like them a little bit more. Kind of imperfect, maybe. Kind of like that. Okay, so let's do a little bit of the yellow ochre with our fan brush. I don't want these to be too much. I'm going to apply some like doony areas through here. Okay, I've got out my giant brush. I want to put a mark through here. I feel like I was getting a little too bogged down in what was going there. So big brush it is. That really did something. Okay, I'm going to come in with a little bit of a lighter blue with this filbert brush. I don't want to cover all that up. I just wanted to add a little bit more, almost like a dry brush through here. Because I like most of this going through here. Okay, let's come in with some Prussian blue and a little thicker consistency. I think it's time to get a little bit more bold with the color. We're being very conservative so far with our color choices. I don't know if this is it, but we're gonna find out. We'll do it together. Like that. I think I'm getting too hung up on what it is. There's not enough boldness going on. Let me mix up a green. Okay, I got this really bright green. Let's see if we can add some interest over here. What if we just did? And I've completely covered up the texture over there. It just needs something. It's so bleh. It's rather boring. I don't want a boring painting, but I also don't want, you know, it's like that fine line between, is it boring? Is it too just bland? Does it need something else? It's time for some pastels, I think. Wasn't really getting the effect that I wanted so much with, I'm gonna try to keep this part down here because I really like it. With the gouache, I'm kind of over it right now. I know that sounds defeatist. But I think we got a good base going on that we can, with a few marks, I think we can get something a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more exciting. Because right now, I feel like it's pretty boring. And maybe that's my problem with the gouache. I think that next week we'll probably switch back to, I don't know. I might go back to watercolors for a little bit so we can kind of play around with that as well. Who knows what we will do next week, but I can already see a difference in the piece with these colors. Kind of feeling like I want a little bit of this, even this crazy bright green. You can still see a little bit of our stencil through there, which I think makes a nice layer. And then we probably need, I'm going to put some of this ochre in here. No, I might be having more fun with the pastels than I am with the gouache almost. Although I don't know that I could do an entire painting with just, I mean, I have with just the oil pastels. I think I would get pretty bored with it really quick because I don't think that, at least in my work, I don't think it works for the way that I like to work. Because the whole idea is scraping back in, seeing layers underneath. And if you don't have a nice base, then you're just going to get, it's all going to be one level, right? And I don't really want that. Let's put some more of this in here. Ooh, that's fun, Mark. Just getting carried away. I want more of that green. That was a different green. Okay, I can kind of feel it now. It's kind of starting to break through for me. I want a little bit more of this yellow. Just kind of coming through here. I kind of want it to feel like these are this grassy areas kind of moving through there. Although it's still, let's see, I think what I need to do, I think this needs to come up a little bit. I think the problem is it's too linear. A little paint over there. We'll see how this works. Okay. So this is almost pure pastel over here because there wasn't a lot of paint. So we can kind of compare and contrast like how these look together because we didn't have a lot of paint over here. And that would be almost like working on a blank sheet of paper. I mean, it still works. Is it as good as this? It's not as layered. It's a little experiment there. I'm still not quite happy with it. I want it to come up a little bit more, I think. And then we probably need some more yellow bits in here. Maybe some more of that fun green. Let's do a few more of these. Okay, I'm liking this much better. What about the blue? What do we think about the blue? Let's add some white through here. Give it a little texture. Does it need? It needs another blue, I think. Maybe let's try this color here. It's kind of screaming at me. Use me. I'm gonna do this with my fingers just to kind of change it up. And you can see how much different it is when we smooth it out with our fingers there. I don't want too much of that color. It's a strong color. Okay, so I think I'm going to add some black marks with the Pit Pastel, which I didn't do at the beginning. And I kind of want to add like a mark going through here. And I'm trying to decide if I want to add a mark up there or just leave it. Okay, so I decided to use this instead. I like that. I like a bold line. I think that really works. At least for me anyway. Maybe use one more there. Although I don't like how that was sort of just there. Let's put some, where do I want to put more lines? Let's add some black lines just through here a little bit. It's not going to be a lot because it can be really hard to get the pastel onto over other pastels. Like you can see it's coming off on the back. But that's not a big deal. It's kind of neat how it's just kind of peeking through there. I don't hate that. Let's continue. I think the black just adds a little bit of more, some movement without it being too bold. I think I might be done. Okay, I'm gonna add a few more of these yellow highlights through here. And then I think we'll be done. I just felt like it needed a little bit more pop through there. And maybe just a few through here too. Just to kind of give you that idea of that there's something over here. I honestly never would, if you told me that I'd be using this color, that's not a color I normally use, but I love it. I think it's perfect for what we've been doing. Sometimes you gotta pick up that oddball crayon and see what happens, right? Okay, I think we're done. Let's put a mat on it. Okay, here it is with a mat. I like it. I like the energy of it. I kind of like this composition a lot. It's a little different than what I normally do, which is just layers and layers and layers on top of layers. I kind of like this feeling of this sort of distant vista with bold marks in the front, real subtle marks back here. Love the sky, love the washes, love the pastels. I do like the stencils, but I'm not sure that I'm going to keep, I mean, I keep covering it up. But it's just not rich enough for what I want the piece to be. I mean, I like these rich marks. Might be hard to go back to watercolor. But I do like these rich marks and all of the energy that's coming through here. I think it's really good. I really like the black marks through here. That might be my favorite part. I don't know. I like the dark with these marks down here. I think it makes it flow better. I do like this part of the stencil though. Like the little subtle lines we put back there, I think are nice. This one's a little bit, it's more, you can tell what it is. Like it's more probably realistic as I ever paint. But yeah, I like the movement through it, and I like these little bits of white through here. Yeah, overall very happy with it. Okay, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Should we continue on with gouache next week, or should we go back to watercolors, or should we go to jelly plate? Let me know what you want to see. I'm not quite sure where I'm headed. I could continue on with the gouache, but you know, I do love my watercolors as well. And we have that whole Paul Rubens kit that we've only used once. So we might need to work through that for the next couple weeks. But I'll think about it, you think about it, and we'll meet in the comments. Thanks so much. Bye.